One of the most difficult projects I've had to do to date would probably be playing the Broadway production of Ain't Misbehaving'. I mean, it's a musical that's 95% piano. It's Fats Waller and it's stride piano at that, so any pianist will tell you that's very challenging in and of itself.
Ain't got nobody, nobody cares for me. I'm so sad and lonely. Yes, I am. Won't you take a chance on me? Well, I'll give you money, baby, all the time. If you would just come and consider being a friend of mine. Oh, I ain't got nobody, nobody cares for me. Let me play just a little bit, ladies. Well, I'll give you money, baby.
All musicians or vocalists have an origin. My origin was the church. I mean, gospel music was my indoctrination to music. It was at the St. Paul Baptist Church in Lindale, Georgia, small church, that I began playing for the services. Me and my cousin Corey would both play. One of us would be on the organ or the other would be on the piano. And by the age of 10 or 11, we were actually playing and carrying the entire service. And even to this day, you can see me playing gospel every Sunday morning here in Rome, Georgia at the Lovejoy Baptist Church. The church is probably one of the most unpredictable and chaotic musical environments that you'd ever have to grow up in. I mean, the music is often unrehearsed. You don't know what key someone is going to sing in. There's no one there to count off the measures. You just have to know the songs and go for what you know. I think the most valuable asset that any musician who grew up in church can say they got from it was a great ear. You have to be able to hear, to pick up and understand what music is doing. And your ear is everything as a musician, even before you learn how to read or you learn the instrument. If you can't hear, you really can't understand music. I think one of my greatest leaps forward in music was when I joined the U.S. Army at the age of 18. I auditioned for their music program once I got to Heidelberg, Germany, where I was stationed. And fortunately, I was accepted, and it was a great eye opener. Just being in Europe alone was fascinating, but to be around people who played music professionally and the government paid us to do so was just awesome. But I just remember experience when I was playing the piano and a senior officer had basically commented and said, "You're very talented and you can play, but everything you play sounds like gospel music." And I think that was a big eye opener because it's just I met so many musicians who only play gospel, who only play R&B, or who only play rock. And it's just a great discredit to learning the art of music because I mean, what is it to your credit to say that you're a great gospel player and you've been in church your entire life? You should be able to play gospel well.
I also want to introduce to you the pianist of the evening, Jason Smith. Let's bring him up here to take a bow.
I have to be grateful to people like Dr. Sam Baltzer, who trusted me to perform and gave me many opportunities to make a musical imprint here in Rome. When I returned to the United States, my first serious venture as a jazz musician and vocalist was with the duo Intuition, which comprised myself and Beth Miller McCain. Beth and I really focused on the lyrical side of jazz. I know as a musician we think about progressions and chords and improvisation, but the jazz idiom has rich lyrics, and it's just one of those things that me and Beth capitalized on. By doing it, we became a novelty to this area and made a lot of people who traditionally didn't like jazz become jazz lovers.
I really can't stay. But baby, don't hold out. Oh, but it's cold outside.
The ATC Jazz Quartet was formed in 2011. This was a group of guys from all different backgrounds, races. I mean, it was groundbreaking for this area. ATC stands for All Things Collective. Myself on piano, Mark Johnson on saxophone, Paul Papa Knox on drums, and Sean Brewer on upright bass. This group just emerged on the scene out of nowhere, and we were doing tunes that what we call in the jazz world bop tunes that you really don't hear in the South. You hear a lot of swing and Dixieland and classical jazz, but we were doing a lot of different tunes because we just wanted to bring something different to the area. After a while, I just started noticing a trend. I started wanting to sing jazz more and more.
Grab your coat and get your hat. Leave your worries on the doorstep. Just direct your feet on the sunny side of the street. Can't you hear the pitter-pat? And that happy tune is your step. Oh, hey. Golden drops at my feet on the sunny side. I'm gonna sit right down and write myself a letter and make believe it came from you. I'm gonna write words all so sweet, they're gonna knock me off my feet with kisses from the bottom. You'll be glad that I've got 'em. I'm gonna smile and say, I hope you're feeling better, and sign with love the way you do. I'm gonna sit right down and write myself a letter and make believe it came from you. Till that morning, there's nothing can harm you. When Daddy ba ba be ba do ba do da da be ba do. Yeah. Forever you'll stay in my heart. You must have known that I was lonely, because you came to my rescue. Ooh, ooh. And when the broken-hearted people living in this world agree, there'll be an answer, let it be.
I literally begin to see myself as an artist who causes others to cross over to jazz. I've had so many people tell me that they really didn't like jazz or weren't traditional jazz listeners until they heard the way I did a song. And that's inspiring to know that I've gone through all these different schools of gospel and R&B, and finally to be educated later in life in jazz and a few other genres. And when you hear me sing jazz, you hear this mesh that took many years to comprise, and it just gives jazz a new sound. And when I look back, in recent years, we really haven't had many African American male jazz vocalists. I think it's time for a revival, and I'm up for the challenge. It's time for an all-out revival of jazz. I represent J. Smith Music. Get ready to hear me sing.